Hey guys, how's it going? It's Space Cowboy. Welcome back to the channel. So, as you saw from my community post, I wasn't able to see the game live. So as a result, I'm just going to do this all in one take. For those that don't know, Dallas has emerged victorious over their rival Washington, 31-21. They moved to 2-0 on the season and 2-0 in the NFC East, which is huge considering the fact that now that we have those two division wins in our pocket, you could start stacking onto that as we get some other games coming up. And we'll talk about that momentarily towards the end. So we're going to go through all the stat sheets, what I felt about the game, and all that other stuff. We're going to start with the Cowboys, and then we'll talk about, on the defensive side of the ball. So first, we'll start with the offense. Dak Prescott, 26 of 30, 269 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a pick. So Dak Prescott in this game played phenomenal. He played fantastic. I don't care what anyone says. People be like, oh, Space Cowboy, he threw an interception. If you go back and watch the interception, I watched that play numerous times. Listen, it bounced off of Cobb's hands. It wasn't like Cobb had one hand. He had both of his hands there to make the catch, and he failed to make the catch, and as a result, it bounced off him, and a defender behind him caught it. And so you can't blame the quarterback in that situation. I was looking on Twitter, and people were stupid sometimes. They were like, oh, well, Dak Prescott, he didn't put the ball. He missed him by like 5 inches. Like, listen, Dak Prescott put it where it had to be. Cobb had both of his hands there, and if it bounces up, and it's intercepted by another player, that's not on the quarterback's fault. That's on the receiver's fault. And if he doesn't, if that interception isn't caught or anything like that, Dak probably has a perfect game. And then we're talking about, wow, Dak Prescott threw 2 straight complete games. All this other nonsense. I mean, an 85% completion percentage? Like, that's insane, man. You go to the, and we'll go further into that momentarily. Rushing into things, Ezekiel Elliott gets his first 100-yard game of the season. He had 23 attempts for 111 yards and 1 touchdown. And, his longest of the day was 27. So Zeke, you could start seeing, is starting to get his feet wet, and he's starting to get back into groove. That's something that in the 2018 season, 2017 season, like his previous seasons, it typically took him a bit to kind of get jump started. And so you kind of saw him getting eased in. Now he's starting to look solid. And I think that that's important. I think that's what the Cowboys were trying to do here. Not only was Zeke good on the ground, Dak Prescott looked phenomenal with the carries that he had to do. He had 5 attempts for 69 yards, and his longest was 42. That's his career yard. Now, I'm telling you, man, if Michael Gallup blocks Josh Norman, that's a touchdown. But we're here saying it was there. That still resulted in a touchdown. Look, this ground game has become very deadly. And then Tony Pollard, got to give a shout-out to him. He had 4 attempts, 22 yards. No touchdowns. I think he almost had one, but it was called back because of Cooper having a penalty. I don't remember, but and I think that's what resulted in the field goal, if I remember correctly. So what we're seeing from this Cowboys team, and I'm sorry if I'm getting backtracked, but I also want to mention our receiving core. Devin Smith leading the way with 3 receptions, 74 yards, and a touchdown. His first catch of the season was a 51-yard touchdown where he burnt Josh Norman. So take that, Josh Norman, bro. Michael Gallup, 6 receptions, 68 yards. Amari Cooper, 4 receptions, 44 yards, and a touchdown. Jason Wynn, 4 receptions, 24 yards, or 25 yards, and a touchdown. And then Randall Cobb, Blake Jarwin, Zeke, and Tony Pollard. So it kind of matriculates down there. So what I got from this offense is okay, so they are going to, and this is something that I've been noticing, is that they're starting to use Zeke a bit more now, but they're still giving you that balanced attack. What they're doing is they're typically doing a lot of the play action passes, which is huge because, and you're going to have these plays to where Dak Prescott might fake it, as he's handing it off, or he's trying to do all this other stuff, and then the play actions are disguised in so many ways. And then not only that, you have a situation to where Dak can take it, and he showed that I wish he would slide, but that's it's whatever. And Zeke, him doing his thing as well. I think the Cowboys have a solid attack as is. I mean, listen, Dak Prescott was extremely efficient, and that's what we just need him to be. I'm not expecting him to throw 5 touchdowns a game. I just want him to be efficient. If it means getting in the end zone, we need him to throw the touchdown, the pass to whoever, I'm cool with that. You know, same thing with Zeke. If Zeke's getting hot and he has the hot hand, just feed him the ball. I don't care if the offensive line's doing their thing, by all means. So what I saw from this offense was that it's going to be very hard to play the Cowboys, especially with what they present on offense. And considering the fact that they have a pretty easy game, I would argue, against Miami next week, I'm not overlooking them at home. There's no reason this team should be 3-0 going into New Orleans. But I don't like overlooking teams. We're taking this one game at a time. We got 2 down, 14 more to go. So, just keep that in mind. So the offense looked good and great, I should mention, in for the most part towards the stretch. They did start off slow, though. Don't get it twisted. They did start off slow, and that's something that this team needs to stop doing. Because the thing that bothers me now is the fact that it's like they need to get punched in the mouth in order for them to get jump started. No, you got to hit these teams in the mouth immediately and just run over them. I'm not saying that we're going to score 30 points every single time. Like, my whole point here is that we can't rely on rely on the offense doing the bulk of the work. The defense needs to make its stops as well. That's the one thing I'm a bit worried about, because you had Case Keenum. He had a solid day today. 2 touchdowns, 26 of 37, 221 yards. They did really good against the run, I will say. They did really good against the run. But the big thing for me is they need to, and I'm glad we have the schedule we have to start off the season, because if they can work the kinks out now, as soon as we hit a team like Green Bay or New Orleans, that's when it's showtime. Like, that's when it needs to click, because there's going to be a team that's going to give our offense some fits. I'm not saying the team's not going to score, like I'm not saying the team's only going to score 3 points, but the defense has to be ready to when the offense isn't going to be able to score, because there's going to, that's going to happen. Without a doubt, that will happen. And so, for me, as a fan of this team, noticing this, it's important that they work on this. I'm pretty sure that that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get their feet wet, because typically the Dallas defense starts off slow. And if we're winning games and they're still starting off slow, I think we'll be fine. But Miami's going to be one of your final tune-up games before you actually start hitting some, decent games. So you got Miami. That's one of your last tune-up games before you go to New Orleans. You're going to face a tough opponent there on the road. Then you're going to have to face Green Bay at home. You should be able to win that game, but they're going to be tough as well. And I think we played the Jets after that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but that's way down the line. So on defense, no turnovers, except for a turnover on downs, if I remember. No interceptions. No fumbles, no nothing. No sacks, I don't think. I mean, the thing is, I'm going to go just check really quickly. Excuse me, there was a sack by Tyrone Crawford. That's it, only 1 sack. Jalen Smith leading the way, Byron Jones leading the way in terms of tackles, but it's just they got to start generating pressure. I mean, they are, but they got to get sacks. They have to get turnovers, because if this defense doesn't start doing that, we're going to be in trouble when we face some of these tougher opponents. We can't, you can't, we can't be doing this every single week, because we're going to get punched in the mouth and then it's going to hurt us. So, and then I will say, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this, I might have, in terms of what we did, we quelled the rushing attack of the Redskins. 10 attempts, 25 yards, and a touchdown for Adrian Peterson, but the only way he got that touchdown was when he was set up in a 1 yard to go situation. So, I mean, their running attack really didn't look so good. I will tell you that. So, I am very, I'm very optimistic this team can get it together. Miami looked garbage. And we'll talk about that in the game preview more so to see what's going on. Because now there's rumors that Minkah Fitzpatrick might be moved. But I'm telling you, man, this is your last tune-up game coming up before you face some tough opponents, and this is where you got to start stacking wins against your own conference now, because this is when it really heats up. So I've gone on for almost 10 minutes. The moral of the story is, listen, we got our second win inside the division. Right now we're leading the East. Right now Atlanta's winning. I'm not saying that score is going to hold, but if it does, we'll be in sole possession of first place. And we just got to keep it up, man. I don't care what happens in this Philly-Atlanta game. Well, with Space Cowboy, you just said the score. The point is that, yes, you know, every fan is going to look at their division opponents to see how, if they suck or they do good. And the thing is that if we don't get this, if we don't take advantage of this opportunity, then we're gonna squander it. So yeah, I think that we'll be fine. Let's just keep the path ahead. Don't worry about anyone else, okay? Let's just keep up the train. Whatever happens, if we're in sole possession of first place from here on out, cool, but I doubt that at some point, because there's going to be a team that I think Philly's going to linger around. But hey, man, how about them Cowboys? We're 2-0. Awesome. I'll see you guys sometime later in the week to do our preview for the Miami game. I might make it a live stream. I'll probably just do a video. I'll let you guys know. All right, guys. Peace out. Bye-bye.
I used to live in Sin Cities like Bruce Willis, but I'm Jackie Chan, karate chopping, I'm still kicking. I used to be chopped and screwed, I'm little flipping. Now I'm nice, Mike Jordan, so who's pimping? I'm running man, you the running man, you still slipping. I hit records.